Hello folks, it's April, the sun is shining, it's hiding a bit away just now, but mostly the sun is shining, and it's time for another plot tour. Let's go. So if you've not been following the weekly vlog, let me fill you in. Recently, about 2.5 weeks ago, I took on my very own plot. Sorry, I've got my eyes shut, the sun is right behind, but obviously I'd rather be in the sun than you. So yeah, I've taken on my very first plot on my own. So to give you a bit of context, I'm currently, so this is plot where I am just now, this is plot 11. And this is actually Tony's plot, and I'm just working alongside him. And for the remaining of the season, I will slowly but surely disappear from here. I'll still help Tony alongside, but I'll give him more and more space. So I'm not going to grow an awful lot, but I'm still going to grow a few bits and pieces in here. I'll show you in a minute. Obviously, we've got the onions and the garlic that were planted in autumn last year, which are still in the ground and will be still in the ground until this summer, give or take. I've also been planting some Jerusalem artichoke. I will be doing some carrots and some easy crops, some like short, quick crops in here. That gives me time to work on plot 14, which is my very own plot, and again working alongside Tony on this as well. He's been helping out to clear out the place, and we'll try to just basically work together between those two plots, so we don't just, well, some of the stuff, like he's going to grow some sweet corn, I will be growing some sweet corn as well, but we might be able to work together to have, let's say, peas on his plot and not on mine, and we can harvest from both. But in exchange, I would have, because I'm going to have a much bigger greenhouse, I could be doing a lot more tomatoes and then share the harvest, So we'll work that way. We'll try to be clever about this. It's been working quite well so far. So yeah, I'll give you a wee tour. So I've got to give you the salute. The sun is just crazy today. It's just coming and going. We've actually had some rain earlier, which you will see a bit later. I've already filmed a bit in the garden, in the greenhouse, which I'm going to put a bit later on. But yeah, I've done that while it was raining, because I knew that I was meant to be nice the rest of the day. Obviously, it was the new plot being taken over, and still being in early April, it's just, things are just starting to boom up now. So, it's not going to be a huge transformation from last month, apart from the new plot, obviously. But certainly, and you can see around me, there is things happening in here. So let's just start in here. I'll show you in the greenhouse. I'll show you outside. Then to cut it off, I'll probably take you to the greenhouse at home, and then back to plot 14, and I'll see you back here afterwards. So in here, there is some good and some less good. So obviously this one is Savoy cabbage, has been done a couple of days ago, so nothing to be expected just now. This is the loofah. They are actually, the germination rate is pretty good. There's only 2 that didn't germinate, but everything else has germinated, so it's really, really good. These are the Spanish onions, which are picking up quite nicely as well. I think those ones are the leeks. Yeah, they are the leeks in there. So again, doing quite well. I will be very honest, I had no much hope for those ones because Tony saw them quite late, but they seem to be catching up quite nicely. So hopefully that should be working. This is still a strange one. It's someone at the allotment that gave him those seeds, and it just said orange rose. Not exactly sure what it is. Not exactly sure if this is a plant or it seemed to be like, I'm not exactly sure. I think this might be a weed because it doesn't look anything like those ones. So I'm not exactly sure what those ones are, but we'll find out eventually. Obviously, that's why they are sown in here and not directly outside, because you never know. Could be some like random Chinese seeds where Obviously you need to be careful what you're getting from those ones. Could actually be anything from a weed to a very invasive weed to exactly what you've been ordering and you're lucky, but most of the time it's not exactly what you're looking for. So we'll see what time get with those ones, but it looks like this might be a weed, yeah, because I see that there's a few like that. But anyway, this is the mix of white flowers which is meant to go outside. Didn't quite like the heat last week. This was turned this way near the window, and so these ones have burned. These ones are recovering, but yeah, they've just burned completely there. But it's fine. There's plenty of wee plugs that can be pulled out and planted, so it's all good. These are actually dead. They shouldn't be in here. Tony's just tried to revive them, but as much as I like his optimism, I think those ones have had it. So yeah, they're gonna have to go. This is actually the saved spring onions, which are pulled out when I've sown the new ones. So those ones were sown last year and germination rate was terrible. Those ones are surviving. I've just put them up like that, and you know, they seem to be doing okay. So hopefully we'll get a few spring onions. Not much, but a few spring onions. And here we have it's a bit cramped in here, but you can clearly see the difference. Obviously a couple of cherry tomatoes that plot neighbor have been giving us. He had extra, so very kindly gave us some cherry tomatoes. I'm not exactly sure what type of cherry tomatoes they are, but cherry tomatoes it says. Sunflowers, those are Tony's sunflowers. Mine, you'll see them after they're in the greenhouse at home, but he's done a few and they are doing really well. And those ones are doing absolutely amazing. This is red cabbage, and they've been potted up, I believe, about a week ago, just over a week ago. And I mean, they're already shooting through most of, well, actually no, it starts as well in here, you see, yeah. So yeah, there's just masses of them, so will be plenty of red cabbage. And he did say that I could take a few as well, so thanks for that. I'll definitely go for that. I'm not a huge fan of cabbage, which is why I'm not growing any cabbage usually. I had done a few red cabbage last year because I just wanted to give it a shot. Ended up giving some to Tony, which grew nicely. Apart from one or two that had been eaten alive, obviously you can expect that, especially because they were not netted. But mine, I just let them go in the greenhouse. I didn't plant them when I should have, and obviously I've not had a single one. Tony kindly let me grab one from here, but I thought that I like, you know, it's fine. I made a coleslaw out of them. It was really nice, but I wouldn't eat cabbage. I wouldn't go out of my way to eat cabbage. So, you know, I don't grow any, but with all this in here, he said that I can take a couple, so I'll definitely take him up on that one and grab a couple. That's what I was saying, you know, that we try to work together in that way. So obviously I'm growing extra tomatoes that he will be taking. I'm growing extra courgette, cucumbers, so on, that he will be able to get access to as well. And obviously it's the same the other way around. Obviously there's some loofahs, and I'm going to take one or two of the loofahs there for myself, and then same with the cabbage in here. Quick and easy in here. So see some change in here. Obviously the hole's been dug for the pond or the wee water feature. It's not been backfilled or put the liner or anything like that yet, but it's going to be coming in the coming weeks. It's just been a bit difficult to find the time, let's say. And a new bench that just appeared here. Obviously it needs to be stabilized, need to be all sanded and repainted properly, but yeah, that's going to be the wee bench to sit in here in this area. The fruit trees are doing really well. We've got some flowers in here. Don't expect to have any fruit this year, but we've got flowers already, and it's looking lovely. The raspberry is doing quite well as well. Obviously the canes are growing nicely. The new shoots are picking up some decent size now, so hopefully we will get some fruit. Those are midsummer growers, so it's not meant to be flowering just now. Hopefully in the next few weeks we will start to see some buds appearing, but it's not looking bad at all. Tony's been filling up all the beds. They're all ready to go. I think he's done some sowing in some of them. I believe those two, and I think he's done some carrots. I can't quite remember what else he's done, but yeah, he started his sowing in here. So yeah, starting to look like a nice growing space. So on here, the onions, smaller ones are the onions, the bigger ones are the garlic. They are doing okay. They're picking up, no more loss. Obviously, we've had a much milder um, or much less wet, more likely, weather recently. So it's looking okay. I've got a bit of weeding to do in between the rows and so on. But overall, quite happy with what it looks like. Really excited to see what the garlics will be like. They're really picking up. The neck is growing nicely. So hopefully we should get a decent amount of garlic. For the next one, let me take you right down here. So this is the 2 rows of spring onions. These 2 rows here are, so the 2 rows to the right are the white Lisbon. Unfortunately, here, I'll take you along so you can see for yourself that there is not much happening on these 2 rows here. Those are meant to be red spring onions, but not a sign yet. The white Lisbons are doing okay. You will see the one in the greenhouse at home very soon, which are doing really well as well. Can clearly see the difference of saving them indoor and outdoor. But nothing for the red spring onion. This is the bit where I need your help. So in here, there is the Jerusalem artichoke. I've got these things growing, which I don't think are the Jerusalem artichoke, mostly because there shouldn't be 2 on that side. But there's one all the way there. There's 2 here. There's 1 here. And I'm not exactly sure. I mean, they look like allium leaves. So I don't know if I should pull them out. I don't want to pull them out if there's something. Obviously, this is sycamore, as expected. But apart from that, there's no sign whatsoever of any other growth along here. So I'm not exactly sure if this is what I should be expecting or not. So as you can see outside, obviously there's not really enough foliar that's been sown or planted yet. While it's raining and I'm having this coffee, I'll take you over to the greenhouse at home to show you what it's like over there. Here in the garden there's a lot more to show you. I'm actually in the middle of putting up some of the leeks. I will show you this in a sec. I started last night but was getting too dark, so I couldn't film anyway. But I also had to stop because it was just getting too dark, and that light that I've got up there is just not powerful enough just now. So yeah, let me show you in here. There's some progress. So I guess we'll work our way up. So we start here with some of the lettuce that had been transplanted. So I've got 48 of them in here, which are picking up quite nicely. So those ones will be made into single plugs, and once the roots are already popping out in some of them, as you can see, but once the roots are properly popping out, I'll be pulled out and put in the ground straight away. I've obviously not many. I've got to say I'm quite happy just now that it seems like slugs, and I'm not the only one. I've seen many people saying they've not actually seen that many slugs, and if they do, it's like those, just the tiny young ones. So it's not too bad, but there's been some damage, but very minimal considering the tray I've got here, this is genuinely the only one plug that got damaged, so, and it's picking up anyway, so this one will recover. I don't know about this one, but anyway, it's not too bad overall. So those ones are the French beans. Those are the slenderets, or the dwarf French beans. They're a fairly good size to go out. I just need to, oh, those ones anyway. I'm gonna need to turn the tray, because for some reason it grows much quicker on that side than on that side, even when I turn the tray. So every so often I give it a wee twist, hoping that this side will pick up. But those ones are pretty much ready to go out, but I just want to give them ideally another week or two before I plant them out, to make sure that we are properly out of frost. So for the parsley, I was gonna plant it and pot it up, but I've decided just to keep it like that. It's doing absolutely fine. It's obviously in a medium that's not just sowing mix. It's there's a bit of potting mix and general compost in there, so it does get its feed. And in fact, as you can probably see, I've been harvesting some already as I go along. So I will keep this one in there, and I'm planning to do another sowing. Don't look at this one. This one is a failed attempt at saving one, but it's just, it got scorched there. So anyway, so up here, this is the sweet corn. It's just been planted or sown a couple of days ago, so it's going to take a while before they start popping up. But yeah, sweet corns are on the go, and right next to them, these will be the companion in the allotment anyway. I've got the sunflowers, which are doing really well, and which I am very surprised. I shouldn't say that. I know that now I mention it, that they will be decimated, but they have not been slugged yet. So far, so good. And some of them are actually getting a bit bigger, so it will be time to plant them out, because I don't want to pot them on. You don't really want to do that, so that's why they're in root trainer, so I can just take the whole plug without disturbing the roots. I am so super happy with the onions. They just suddenly started, obviously they were like weeds, like tiny wee stuff like this, see, like that, and then suddenly they just boomed into like big long stuff. I know there's two schools for that one, like you should or shouldn't trim them, give them a haircut. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said before, I have never done them from seeds, and when I do them from sets, I just plant the sets, let nature do its course, just give a wee weed every so often if needed, but that's all I'm doing. So I'm not exactly sure if I should trim the heads or not. So I would be interested to find out what you think, what you do usually with your onions. So if you just let me know in the comment, I'll make a decision what to do with them, because I'm not exactly sure if I should or not trim them. So obviously I'm not growing coffee this year, but that's genuinely the only space I have to put the coffee somewhere. And here, this is the ongoing project. These are the leeks, and I'll take you around to this side. Very messy, excuse the mess. It's obviously, I'm in the middle of working in here. So this is all the leeks. You remember, I have two trays like that. This is tray number 2. I've picked a few just to fill up just now, but I've stopped after the first tray. But this is one tray potted up. So you will be able to see, or you have seen, I'm not exactly sure if the vlog will be coming before or after the plot tour. But one way or another, I will be showing you how I'm doing this. It's not overly complicated, but it's just the technique that I'm using, and it seemed to be working. Potentially, most of them could be planting them straight away in the ground, but I quite like to let them thicken up a bit more. So I like to transfer them into, and they like being transplanted anyway. They really enjoy being transplanted. That gives them a boost. So transplant in pots like this, and once they outgrow that pod, like when the roots are really popping out and when they've thickened a bit, then it will be time to plant them out. Not overly successful was the Lavaterra. This is from a big tray which was under there, a big A4 size tray, and quite densely sown, I would say. It's not overly packed, but it was quite densely sown. I've managed to get 11 plants. That's literally all. So I've potted those ones again last night, so it's been done off camera, but better than nothing. I suppose that's 3 plants really. This, I mean, I'm absolutely ashamed of myself. This is obviously some more slug damage. They're picking up, so hopefully they will be okay. But if it's the only casualty, those 3 actually, because there wasn't any in this one, so I just don't bother too much. I'll just leave them there. But I'm ashamed of myself because those ones should have been planted out a while ago. And as you can see, bottom leaves are turning yellow, and even, you know, they're losing their nice green and turning a bit yellow as well. That's because they're lacking in nutrient in there, they're lacking in space, so I really need to plant them out now. Otherwise I'm just going to lose all my sugar snapes, and yeah, I don't want to lose all my sugar snapes really. A lot here. Obviously the heat is picking up a lot in the greenhouse. I knew that would happen anyway, and I'm picking the heads off as often as I can, but the rocket is bolting. I knew it. It's absolutely fine. We managed to harvest a few bits. There's still some to harvest. I'm going to keep picking at it, but soon enough this will be discarded anyway. As you can see, the leaves are turning yellow. It's not the best medium either. That was just for a quick early crop, and it did the job. So expected and absolutely fine. The basil is growing on. Leaves are getting a bit bigger. It's yeah, taking its time, but it's still early in the season, so I need to do another sowing now. This will be left in here and just used, you know, as just a herb. The antherinum there at the back, they will need to be potted up as well very soon. Again, germination is pretty poor, but I've got a few. It's better than nothing. Tomatoes, so I've put it on the cherry folds right here. These are all Riesentraub, and this is a mix of pink, bumblebee and black moon. So they are picking up. So those are the first one that were planted. Yeah, you can see the roots are poking through, so it is growing nicely. I will need soon enough to get them a wee fan probably hooked on here or something like that, just to give them a wee movement so they thicken a bit. They're not bad at all. The bigger ones are definitely holding themselves, but yeah, I'm gonna have to start giving them a bit of a movement because they're very still in here, and they're gonna get a bit, not so much leggy. The light is still doing the job, but not as strong as they should be. And again, companion right next to them, and those will be planted in the main pots, or in the big pots once I plant the tomatoes. Same color, different fruit. Those are the marigold. And to finish this tour in here, we have the heated shelf, which is not heated anymore. I've taken the plugs out of obviously the last one that you see is for the light in here. But I've taken the heat off the mat, or the electric. I've unplugged the electric, that's what I meant to say. So the mats are still there, but they're not working anymore, because it gets fairly warm. I mean, it's 11.8 degrees today, and it's, well, it's blue sky just now, but it was raining a few minutes ago. These are all the pepper. They were down here. Cherry folds were up there. I've put the cherry folds, put them down here, and thought that I would put the pepper up here to see if they are picking up. Well, they seem to be picking up. I don't know if it's just because it gets warmer or because they get extra heat or sun. But the proper leaves, it's tiny. I mean, it's ridiculously small, but the proper leaves are popping up now. Let's continue with the cucumbers, which are doing really well. Obviously, they're sitting in water just now because they were dry as anything. I'm going to empty this just now. The first true leaves are showing on all of them. I've planted 4, or I've sown 4. I've got 4. I'm really happy with that. I will probably keep 2 plants and give away 2 plants or put the other 2 in the greenhouse at the allotment once the greenhouse at the allotment is done. But yeah, really happy with that. And soon enough, like probably in a week or so, those will be transplanted in individual pots. Watermelon, they are just starting. In fact, let me just get this off. Here we go. You're free. So I think I've done 3 or 4 seeds in each module. It looks like it's popping up on this one as well. You can see it because the cucumber, and this is fully, oh my goodness, I'm doing an absolute mess. Yeah, it starts to come on this one as well. So a bit slower to come. It's to be expected, but they are popping up. So we're good. Melons are, I mean, speak for themselves. You know, I'll just give them a wee tilt to show you properly. They are coming on quite nicely. I have not really lifted those trays to see what they're like yet. No, there's no roots popping up yet, so they're quite happily, yeah, it's getting there. But I'll leave them in here just now, put them on in bigger pots, and then transplant in their final position. But just now they're doing really well. I hope it continues. Oh, goodness me, Najina. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to say. So you know we had sown some Najina earlier in the season. Obviously it's dry now, but it's just, I've kind of given up on the other 4 modules, so that's why it's dry. Germination's been really poor. I don't know. Obviously it's all from the same batch. It's fresh seed, so it shouldn't be. But it's just, I mean, I've got 4 and I'm going to do my best to try to save those 4 because I'm getting too late now to sow them. So if I don't get those ones, well, I don't get any Najina and that'll be a failed attempt. Maybe I'll try another year, but definitely not overly impressed with those ones compared to, I mean, the pink bumblebee, raisin traub. I knew they would do well anyway, but the pink bumblebee have been surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting much from those ones, but Najina, I was expecting quite a good germination rate, and they are F1, so they're not actually cheap seeds as well. I think I've paid like 3 or 4 quid for 10 seeds, so I've basically wasted 8 quid so far, because I've done 2 loads to have 4 flimsy tomatoes showing up, so not happy with that at all. Pumpkins, we've got a decent germination on the zombie one. Actually, if you can see there, the first true leaves are about to pop up in here. They are growing like, well, monsters, like zombies. So really happy with those ones. I was a bit skeptical about the Atlantic Giant, but a couple of days ago, the first one popped up. So hopefully I'll get a couple more, because if I'm relying on a single plant, it's going to be a bit difficult. Although I only want 1 on the plot, I'm hoping that I'm going to get a couple more to choose from. But so far, it's okay. We'll see. They may be a bit slower because they're bigger seeds, or I'm not exactly sure, but they've been sown at the same time, and I mean, speak for itself. And same goes for the courgettes. Spineless beauty, 4 out of 6, but 4 good ones. Proper leaves showing up, and if I can pop that back on. Summer holiday, nothing, not a single one. I don't know. I think I've got more seeds of the summer holiday, so I might try to do another one just in case, but no, not overly happy with that. So I'm meant to go out to show you plot 14 just now, but very unexpectedly, and it's calming down a bit now, but very unexpectedly. The rain started again. It was supposed to be dry for the rest of the day, but not only that, we've just had a good episode of hailstone there. So I'm just gonna finish my coffee, and hopefully by that point this rain will have stopped and it's going to be a lot more enjoyable to show you the small progress, but a progress nonetheless, on plot 14. Plot 14, if I can say so myself, is starting to look really good, especially with those flowers and those colors popping up here at the front. In the sun, so let me show you the azalea are starting to open here. Just those ones that are not opening, these ones are opening, and these ones are opening as well. So it starts to look really good. And something that I've just realized today, so remember I've pulled out a peony out of there. Well, turns out it's not a peony, but it's actually, I'm really excited about this. It's actually bleeding out. I absolutely love bleeding out. Overall, obviously there's 275 bulbs that have been planted in there as well, so there's still one somewhere along there obviously, but 275 that have been planted in there, apart from a bit of plastic which I need to go and pick up because it keeps coming back here. So obviously as soon as the wind picks up, I might need to put a wee barrier or some sort in here just to stop things blowing over, because every single time I'm coming there's bits of plastic in here. I need to trim back the raspberries. I'll leave them here just now. I don't know what they're like, if you know, awful the awful raspberries that we had on plot 11. I don't know if it's going to be the same in here, so I'll just leave them and give them a chance for this summer. Anyway, I don't really fancy replacing them, so I'll just pull out some of the, see right here and right there, and then down here, but I'll pull out the new shoots that are coming out and just maybe relocate them here just now, see what they are looking like, if they're all what they're tasting like. If they're any good, that's fine, they'll stay. Otherwise they'll be replaced next year. And then here the honeyberry is looking quite good. Try to shelter a bit from the wind, but you can see flowers popping up in a few places. I'm struggling with the, no, it doesn't want to stay. There we go. Flowers are popping up a bit everywhere just now. And here I definitely have some flowers which I'll be relocating, even if I keep a edging there, or flowers on the edging there, which I'm still not sure I will, but even if I do, I don't want any in here. I want to get straight to the growing space. That just doesn't make any sense that I've got to walk around to get to the growing space. So those ones will be relocated in due time. Still in flower just now, so I'll leave them to do their stuff, and then they'll be relocated on the space over there. I'm keeping in here just now, and I love to see that they're actually starting to bud as the chives. So I had 2 of them in here. One is now on plot 11 because, I mean, I can't eat that much chive in one go anyway, so that's going to be plenty for me. And in fact, there's some growing along here, all the way along. That's self-seeded in here, and another wee one in here. So yeah, this will be plenty for myself. But there at the front, I've picked what I thought was a laurel, but it's actually, yes, it is a laurel, but it's actually bay leaves. So I've planted it back in here. It's not looking too good just now. I wasn't too happy up there, so I'm hoping that's going to pick up with the new buds. Those ones will be falling off, and I'll be able to harvest and get my own bay leaves, which would be a really big bonus. And this is the junkyard, which is gone today. So all that's in here is going to be packed in the car and taken to the recycling center today, because sooner I can get rid of this, the sooner I can see a bit clearer in here. Thank you very much for joining today. Please, in the comment, let me know about the Jerusalem artichoke. I'm really eager to know if it's what I should be expecting, or if it's something that I should be pulling out, or in fact it might actually be, I've not really checked on this, to be fair. I've just looked at what seedlings look like and I can't quite find what doesn't look like anything like that. But in fact I'm just thinking now that it might actually be expected to be later. I don't know, because I know that's something that you harvest, like it's like a summer grower and or flowering and all that stuff, but then you harvest like autumn and winter, so it might actually be coming later on, you know, like the asparagus just starts popping up now, and it's to be expected to pop up like early to mid-April. Maybe it's not to be expected until May, I don't know, not exactly sure. But anyway, so thank you for joining today. As usual, if you like the video, please leave a thumb up. That really helps the channel. If you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing as well. Make sure to tick the bell so you know when the next videos are coming up. So most of the time I post a vlog a week on recap the week in the garden and at the allotment, and then every month I have a plot tour, and I'm planning for the heart of the season, so starting in the next couple of months I'm planning to have other videos that will be coming up that will touch on other subject, but I'll get to this in due time anyway. So in the meantime folks, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.